What up, though? All praises go to the Most High, man. It's your boy Trill, man. And today, I feel inspired to talk about hypocrites, man. Hypocrites, man. Straight up, we can't fall a victim, man. We can't fall a victim to these hypocrites, man. For real, because it's like they hitting us with the over for the under. You feel me? They telling us not to do all this stuff, telling us to be moral and morally just, and telling us not to lie, cheat, and steal. But they doing everything they telling us not to do. Straight up, man. We can't fall victim to it, man. For real. We can't, man. And I'm not saying that we should be like them or we should lie, cheat, and steal, but we just gotta understand, you know what I mean? So they words just don't hold weight, you know what I mean? Because a lot of things that these hypocrites do, man, is they do it to keep us disenfranchised. You know what I'm saying? They do it to keep us at a lower level psychologically, feeling so bad about ourselves. You know what I mean? Because these hypocrites, there's so many hypocrites out here, man, that literally tell us not to sell drugs. We poisoning our community. We doing so much wrong. But then they the biggest drug dealers, man. For real, man. Let's talk about it. They the biggest ones, man. If y'all don't think Percocets is a drug, come on, man. The government is making this. The doctors is making this stuff. I ain't never made a Percocet ever in my life. I ain't never made one, you feel me? Like, they telling us not to do all these things, but that's literally how they got their wealth. You know what I mean? It's the East Dutch and Indian Company. They was from 1700s. You feel me? They been selling drugs. You know what I mean? Harvard and Yale and all these institutions and colleges, they was founded. They got literally dorms and sections named after opium dealers. Come on, man. Y'all gotta know this, man. Y'all gotta know this. Everybody know JFK, his father was a bootlegger during Prohibition, was selling liquor and all this stuff, you feel me? But it's so looked down upon when it's your brother doing it or yo people doing it, because they psychologically done fucked us up. You feel me? And I ain't promoting none of that, but I'm just saying it ain't right. It ain't right, man. That's what, if you look at the Bible, man, when Jesus went into them churches, when Jesus went into them synagogues or whatever you call it, like, he was so infuriated with the people. I ain't gonna say not about what they was doing, but he was so infuriated because they was hypocrites. They trying to say all these things about the laws, all these things about the Torah and all this stuff, but y'all in here selling stuff in the house of the Lord. They say the house is to be praised, not to, not a den of robbers and thieves, man. But y'all in here doing this, but y'all telling all these people, all these civilians, all these Jews that they disobeying the law, they doing this, they doing that. You know what I mean? Because it's all to get a one-up on you. It's all to make you feel like you doing bad, but they doing the same thing, but they don't feel like they doing bad. You feel me? They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about poisoning communities. What the fuck? They ain't never cared about that. They don't care about no black on black crime. They don't care about white on white crime. They say all this stuff about black on black crime, but nigga, y'all fought the British. The British in America fought. Killed hundreds of thousands of motherfuckers. The red coats versus the whatever the American people was called, y'all. That's white on white crime. That's white on white crime like a motherfucker. But when it's us defending what we believe in or what we stand for, it ain't right. That's what they telling us, you feel me? Come on, man. It don't make sense. And we just gotta be aware of that, man, because we never should do what they do, But we should understand that they are not the role models. You know what I mean? It's this movie called Animal Farm, you feel me? And I ain't never really seen the movie, but I got I got a summary of the movie, you feel me? And I got the gist of the movie, you feel me? And it's the animals on the farm, you feel me? And all the animals, you feel me, they mad at the people of the farm, you feel me? Like the farm owners, the farmers, you feel me? So they revolt, you feel me? They start a revolution, you feel me? And the pigs lead the revolution, you feel me? So then, you know, they win, they take over. The animals defeat the farmers, you feel me? Quite naturally, because it's more animals than it is farmers. Just like it's more us civilians than it is the people at the top, you know what I mean? Than the leaders of the country or the leaders of the world, you know? Whatever the case may be. You feel me? It's automatically more of us, and it's strength in numbers. You feel me? So, boom. They win. So the pigs, they start the revolution in a sense. So, or they get everybody riled up, so they naturally become the new leaders. Man, why the pigs start acting like the farmers? You feel me? They start walking on two legs. They start wearing suits, all this shit. You feel me? So it's like, they became hypocrites because the very thing that they was going against, once they got in power, they became that same very thing. You know what I mean? That's why it's important for us to realize, you know, that these are not our role models. You feel me? None of this stuff should be our role models. None of these things should be our end goal. You feel me? To get to a certain level and look down on others, you know what I mean? To get to a certain level and abuse our power, to get to a certain level, you know, and you know, diminish the morals, you know, get rid of the morals, get rid of the integrity, because it's easy to do once you get in power, man. It's easy to start saying fuck niggas. It's easy to start saying, you know, them lazy ass niggas. It's easy to start saying that shit, you feel me? But, you know, we got to realize that, man, because it's the truth. You know, it's the truth. We got to realize, man, that this country is a company. It's a business, man. It's a business, you know. It started as an agricultural business, you know, and they was making infinite profits because they had slaves to do everything. You know what I mean? They didn't have to pay nobody to farm the land. They didn't have to pay nobody to cultivate the land. They didn't have to pay nobody to do the agriculture. You know what I mean? So that's why they was able to get so much profit, and that's where all their wealth came from. You know what I mean? So anything they telling us to stay in this morals and this integrity, you know, we got to realize they hypocrites, because that ain't how y'all got this wealth, and that ain't how y'all are maintaining this wealth. You know what I mean? But, you know, love y'all, man. Good thoughts, good vibes in a minute.